Hello folks and welcome to our final full day here in Rome, and it being our final day means one thing. I'm waiting for a free now taxi. We're heading to the Colosseum. We've not been to the Colosseum yet, so we're going to be heading over to there shortly, and we are asking for our free now to pick us up right next to the scooter that I rode back from the football last night. This scooter nearly killed me and I nearly killed it, but we both survived and we're both still here this morning. I don't know at what point it gets collected and charged, because he was pretty much dead of charge when I left him there last night, but it's good to see he's still there. I'd like to think he'll just be there forever now. The permanent monument to me safely moving across the city. 24 minutes I rode him for. But yeah, we are just waiting for a driver now on free now, and there you go, our request has been accepted. Our driver will be here in a moment, 1 minute's time, so we'll meet you outside the Colosseum. And there it is, directly behind us. Told you I'd meet you here. It's raining. It wasn't raining in the rest of Rome. Apparently it rains at the Colosseum. We got out of the taxi, we were out of the taxi over there, and we were immediately bombarded by, well, there was a guy who tried to sell us tickets immediately, and then Anna left me on my own, forgetting that I am an autistic man with no social skills, and a few minutes later I've got 3 elephant bracelets and a bangle. I managed to give the man the bangle back. He got my last €7. I had to show him my empty pockets and kept trying to thrust the things back at him, but yeah, Anna was like, no, and walked off, and I'm like, I can't cope. You can't leave me alone around these salespeople, because I don't know how to do it. I know you're supposed to say no. Intellectually, I knew what was happening the moment it started happening, but before I knew it, I was wearing an elephant bracelet. So I now have an elephant bracelet. And Anna has 2 more in her bag, and I spent €7 on it. I don't have any more cash on me, so I guess at this point, there's nothing else that can go wrong on that front, because I'm not carrying any more cash. But this is the Colosseum. We're going in there in a few minutes. We've just got to go and find the way in, but it is quite big and impressive. Oh, by the way, also forgot to do everybody's favourite feature, tales from the mad taxi drivers. Yeah, we've had some special taxi drivers over the course of the time that we've been here. This one may have been the most special. He wasn't wearing a seatbelt, just like all the others. He was talking on the phone the whole time. I don't know who they need to be talking to on the phone. I have seen these taxi drivers spend more time talking on the phone during 5-minute journeys than I've spent talking on the phone in my adult life. Yeah, exactly. I don't know who they're talking to and why they have to do it constantly, but he also got so close up behind an Uber Eats rider on a bike that his proximity sensor went off and wouldn't stop because he was so close to him. He overtook a golf cart tour so close that we could have high-fived the people in there.
Did you see that woman's arm?
Yeah.
Took them off.
Yeah, and the best bit, at a zebra crossing, a man crossed the road and he stopped, wound down his window and yelled at the man who had crossed the road using the zebra crossing in Italian. It's great. Italian taxi drivers, absolutely bonkers. We're going to go and try and find our way into the Colosseum. Apparently, the way in is over here. He didn't really speak any English, but he did point this way and say entrance and point this way, which to me seems like we're walking away from it, but I guess he knew what he was doing, unless he was just sending me down his little, no thank you. Unless he was just sending me down this little gauntlet of people trying to sell me stuff. Perhaps this is his mates. Right, we couldn't work out how to get down to the Colosseum from up there. Having run back and forth through the gauntlet of people trying to sell us things, I think we found someone who was either helpful or is just selling metro tickets. But they said come through the metro station. So we've come down the stairs in the metro station, and it looks like we can just walk out here. There we go. So she was actually helpful, and we're now down on ground level. It's very difficult to know who's helpful and who's trying to sell you something. Well, we are in. One thing to bear in mind, you do need ID. As with a lot of these tourist attractions, they did check passports on the way in, so you have to have those. It's also a no drone zone. And just like Disneyland, you're not allowed to use selfie sticks. Anna is just touching every part of it that she can touch on the way through, while saying to herself, touching it, and singing the Touching It song.
It's old.
And there's an example. It is old, exactly. Luckily, Anna likes touching old things. There you go, I've touched it as well. Also, apparently, if you write on the walls, it's 2 to 5 years in prison, so don't come here and do that. My inability to speak Italian is causing us problems again. I thought I'd bought a ticket directly from the Colosseum that got us entry to the Colosseum, the Roman Forum, and an audio guide. We're in the Colosseum, so it worked for that. But we've just been to collect the audio guide, and they've said we didn't pay for that, even though in the email, in English, it says we have got the audio guide. And she was like, well, collect the company you ordered from. I ordered it from the Colosseum website. It was €6 to buy one, so we just bought another one. I don't care. Anna wanted one. She likes to learn. I prefer to remain ignorant, so for €6 it was worth just not having to queue up again, because she said try and contact the company and then just queue up again. No, you were right. Where are you going? We're going out here, aren't we?
One is here.
We're going out here. Let's go look at some Colosseum. This is why I don't like audio tours. She's now trying to follow the tour in the correct order, whereas I can see if you just get out there, you're in it. Let's just go there. There you go then. We are heading out from the little interior bit out onto the big bit in the middle, which I assume once we get out here, we have to fight a horse or the equivalent. I'll be quite disappointed if there's no one to battle when I get out here. For those wondering, we chose not to do the proper guided tour because we wanted to just be able to go at our own pace, stop and start when we wanted, give up if we decide we want to give up. If we have to go upstairs to get up to those higher levels, we want to be able to go, you know what, we don't need to go up to the higher levels. Just basically trying to do this in a way that Anna's going to be able to do it. That's the plan. So we are now inside. This is almost as crumbly as the new camp was when I was in Barcelona. And then down there we have the various bits and bobs down there. As a man with no audio guide, I assume that's the dungeon. I tell you what, from inside it feels smaller than I thought it would. It looked bigger than this outside. Maybe the scale of it will hit me a little bit more when we're up on that level, if we go up onto that level, but it feels, I guess I'm comparing it to a football stadium. It's not as big as a football stadium, is it? I guess it is older, but it's not as enormous or inspiringly enormous as I thought it was going to be. It doesn't hit you the way something like the Eiffel Tower does. We've just had a go in the ancient 2,000-year-old lift. The man yelled at us when we walked towards it. It was like, this is for people with special needs. Well, where do I begin? Anna hasn't got her stick with her today because she was finding it cumbersome in Vatican City, but I think it's good just as a visual clue. But they backed down when we said she can't walk upstairs. I didn't have to list all of the other reasons why we would like a lift. I mean, the fact that it was just a couple of fat people walking towards there should have been enough. Quite frankly, the amount of stairs that are here. But yeah, we have made it up through the lift. So if you are someone with mobility issues and you want to come and visit the Colosseum, unlike Vatican City, there is a way to do it without having to walk up loads and loads of stairs, which is a big positive. Look at these bad boys. I imagine if you're an old rock lover, this is like me looking at new wrestling figures. Right, we've got a little bit of a view here, so we can sort of see down. We're starting to get an idea of just how high up it is. Anna is so fascinated by all of this. She's currently telling me which bones come from which animal because she's cross-referencing them against her little thing. She's told me every one of those bones. She loves it. 17? Yeah. That's a piece of ostrich, is it?
Is 17 a fragment of the teres metatarsal of an ostrich?
There you go. She's found me a piece of ostrich foot. She's loving it. She loves all this old stuff. See, now that is cool. Looks like it's made out of polystyrene, but I guess it's like plasticast. It's awesome though. I would like the Lego one. Hopefully they'll have it in the gift shop. I know they won't have it in the gift shop, but I really want it. See, I find these models fascinating. I just think they're awesome. It's a shame it's behind the glass and it's all reflections and you can't really quite see it because everything's reflecting off of it. But it does look cool. They need some anti-glare glass. I want one of them for my house. Here we go. After about an hour in all the museum bits that was very much for Anna, we're now out doing the bit I was here to see, which is seeing the actual structure and wandering around it, which looks awesome. There you go, there's a proper view. Managed to push our way through to the front. Last time I was over an amphitheatre like this, my dad would have to verify the exact details, but I was about 6 years old, and I think I threw my flip-flops over the side, pooed myself, and had to go back to the hotel in my brother's pushchair. I didn't enjoy it that day. It wasn't here, that was somewhere in Spain. This one, much more pleasant experience. Again, not really sure how they never picked up on the autism signs when I was a kid. But it is pretty impressive. And there we are, in the ruins. You're going to turn all the way around, or are you just going to...
I can't turn all the way around.
There we go. And with 20 seconds left to go on the timer before it expired, I've managed to get into a Colosseum Pokemon Go raid, and I'm very happy about it. I'm just trying to get Anna into the app now. She can't join any other way because the raid is officially done, but I've sent her an invite, and I've got 68 seconds left on my clock to try and get Anna in to accept the invite so she can do the Colosseum raid as well. It's only a 1-star ghastly, but
I've got on the Wi-Fi.
she's on the Colosseum ancient Wi-Fi, ancient Colosseum Wi-Fi. Got a nice shot of an ancient tram from up here as well. Plus, somebody looks like it might be a spot for us to go and get some lunch. There's loads of things down those little side streets. We might eat over here. Yeah, there goes the tram. I think every meal we've eaten since we've been here has been within sight of the Pantheon, so it might be nice to try a meal in maybe a different part of Rome. And as Anna's just said, the tram goes right past our hotel as well, so if that's the same tram line, we could potentially eat over there and then get the tram back and not have to risk our lives in a taxi or on a scooter again. Here we have an ancient seagull, just standing there, being the king of the Colosseum, waiting for somebody to drop some lunch that he can get involved in. Absolutely no fear of all the humans that are around. He is my new friend, he's called Seagull. Welcome him to the channel down in the comments. I think my favourite angle is seeing it from here and being able to see the really high bits over there. I suspect me and Anna aren't going to be going up to those highest of high bits because they don't look like they have elevators. We're quite happy being on the floor that has a lift. But it is mad how high it goes. Certainly more impressive from this spot than from wherever it was when I was moaning about it not being impressive. It's impressive here. In case you were wondering if we saw one of those, we did. There it is. And there's lots of people near it too, so it must be good. And we saw it. Tourism. This is a better viewing angle of all of the little dungeony bits. There is a walkway through it, so I guess there is a way to get down there. I've not seen it just yet. No, it doesn't look open. There's nobody in there. Still a little roof on that bit. Here we go then, a moment of truth. In the very unlikely event they have the Lego set, it's going to be in here. She's saying, you're not buying it. I absolutely will be if it's here. It's like £800 on eBay. Yeah, but not one like that. Yeah, I remember which one. We're also looking for something like that for Andy. But not necessarily that one. Not necessarily from here. We've seen them in lots of little shops for a lot less than that. There you go, that's more like it. Just a little something. He likes a little thing. That's probably the one. Yeah. This sort of thing would be ideal because it would match in with his La Sagrada Familia that he's got, and he can have his little awesome things from cities that we've been to in his bedroom. You're getting a helmet as well. Well, they've got multiple Playmobil sets, but I think that's the closest we're going to get. So I think I've just saved myself 350 euros, which is probably for the best because we've already got too much Lego to carry home as it is. We would definitely be needing another luggage if we found that and bought it too. I think I have a lot to learn about Italian culture and manners. I just got yelled at again this time because we had to come down in the lift. We come out on a slightly different route to the people who've done the stairs, I guess. So we had to follow a different route to get to the exit. And I got to this big rope that said exit with a big arrow pointing to the other side of the rope. And there was a member of staff nearby just chatting to somebody else, not even looking. We stood at the rope for like 5 seconds and they're just chatting away to each other, not even looking at us. So I just removed the rope and was going to walk through following the big sign to exit, and she just spun around and was like, why? Why are you touching that? You talk to me. Oh, well, it didn't say that anyway. She was so rude. The amount of times we've come up against incredibly rude people over the last few days, that is, just the general rudeness is a little bit of a culture shock. But yeah, I got told off for touching a rope, because I guess apparently you're just supposed to know to ask and not touch it yourself, despite the sign saying exit. There you go. We're down on the lower level now. Just remember, boys and girls, don't touch the rope. And we are out again, and despite avoiding the guided tour because we didn't fancy a 3-hour guided tour, we spent a good 2 hours in there ourselves. But the difference is we did it under our own steam. We didn't go up to the top floor. We just did the bits that we wanted to do and had several rest breaks in between. But you come out and firstly, you're absolutely bombarded with people trying to sell you stuff again, including selfie sticks, which you're not even allowed to take in there. But as soon as you come out, you've then got the view of all the other bits as well. Our ticket that we bought does include entry to the forum and somewhere else that I can't remember the name of. So I think our plan now is we're going to go and have some lunch because it's 2:30. So we're going to go and have some lunch, and then we're going to see how Anna's legs and back are feeling after she's had a sit down and something to eat. We're not desperate to do the other things that we've got the tickets for. Ultimately, apparently from the moment you start your ticket, it's a 24-hour ticket as well, so we could always go to the Roman Forum tomorrow morning if we decide we really want to go there, because our flight home isn't until like 6 o'clock tomorrow night, so we have got basically all day tomorrow as well. But yeah, I think we are going to find somewhere to have some lunch once we've got out of the ancient ruins area. When we came in, it was a metro station and loads of restaurants and roads and things. We've come out and all of a sudden we're in the past and we can't find our way back to a modern civilization. Another thing from my big list of foods to eat while I'm in Rome, we have a mozzarella and prosciutto sandwich. Anna is just addicted to bruschetta now and just has it every meal. That is an enormous salad. We've got a pizza on the way as well. I think this might have been a bad idea. We may have ordered too much food. And then we also have an enormous mushroom pizza to share, which is huge. The camera doesn't do it justice. Well, I think for the second time today, I've been hoodwinked. That was the first proper tourist trappy restaurant. When I ordered the sandwich, I wasn't really expecting it to come in a burger bun. The pizza was fine. Anna said the bruschetta, not up to the standards we're used to. Even the coffee wasn't as good as what we've been having. So, I mean, rather than the food, I think you're very much paying for the Colosseum view, which I guess makes sense. But at the restaurants we've been eating at, we get the Pantheon view, which is just as cool. So I think for our last supper later on today, we'll be heading back to our favourite little square. But first, I love foreign supermarkets. So we're going to go and have a rummage in here. So Anna's sleeping over there, so we can't have the full lights on and we have to be a little bit quiet. So anything that had a funny name or a name that amused me, I have purchased. So I've got some Mr. Day. Mr. Day, I think, is chocolate chip muffins. It could just be muffin-shaped things with anything in, but there's a tonno e olive sandwich, which I think is tuna and olive. I didn't recognise many of the ingredients, and there was no phone signal in there, so I couldn't use Google Translate. Tonno e uova. I mean, I can see there's egg in that, so I think that's tuna and egg. And then we have some yonkers, which again, just like the name, don't know what yonkers are. And then some enjoy, which I am actively looking to do, so I figured that was a good ploy. I got those because they just look delicious. I don't even know what it is. I think it's chocolate. It's like a Kit Kat. I think it's just a milk chocolate Kit Kat, because latte is milk, isn't it? It's not a coffee, it's a milk. And then just a couple of Coke Zeros, because presumably Coke Zero is Coke Zero wherever you are in the world. And that, despite us being in one of the greatest food cities in the world, is our dinner today, because we had a big meal earlier. It is now 7:10, so this time tomorrow we will be in the air. So we've still got roughly 24 hours still here in Italy, so there'll be one more video in this series next week. So I'm going to eat my tuna and olive sandwich and spend the rest of the evening probably editing another video while I wait for Anna to wake up for bedtime. And we'll pick things up again in the morning aka next week. If you've enjoyed that one, please make sure you leave a nice big thumbs up on there for us. Subscribe to the channel for loads more travel stuff. Straight after this, the Scotland series starts, and then we've literally got back series all the way through to October. It's all planned out. As long as I don't break myself or my equipment, it's going to be a great 6 months for the channel. So make sure you subscribe and turn your notifications on for that. And thank you very much for watching.